Right now, looking at all options, transportation leaders decide what to do with an old but heavily traveled interstate bridge. And a local state lawmaker making another push to legalize all forms of marijuana. Plus, it's a serious problem facing our schools. What's causing the current teacher shortage? That's straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us. Charlotte is off tonight. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is looking at upgrading the bridge over the Wisconsin River on I-39-90-94. It's just south of the Portage exit. The department held its first public meeting on those changes tonight. Amy Reed shows us what options are being considered. Amy?
This bridge was built in 1961, or to use the DOT's point of reference, back when Bart Starr was quarterback for the Packers. It also hasn't had any upgrades since 2012, and with traffic only projected to get worse in this section, the DOT wants to take action now. On a journey to the north, you likely drive here. More than 57,000 other cars a day do too, and all that wear and tear is starting to show. That's where tonight comes in. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is planning to either repair or replace the interstate bridge over the Wisconsin River.
The bridge is approximately almost 60 years old. It's nearing the end of its useful life, and it's in need of some future repair or replacement. So we're looking at different alternatives to see what would be the best fit moving forward into the future for that bridge.
But first, they want to hear from the people who live around it, people like Bobby Hahn.
I think they definitely ought to stay in the corridor that they made through the first time.
She lived here back then too, and she didn't like how construction took away some of the area's most beautiful features. She wants to make sure that doesn't happen this time.
I want it to stay as beautiful as we can after the first bridge went through in the first place.
Hahn and others pointed out their concerns to DOT staffers who took down notes to refine the project. They said this information from people who know the area best is vital.
There's always important factors to consider, and the public input is one of them. I mean, it helps us build a better design product if we know what issues the public sees out there today or what deficiencies might exist.
Here's what you need to know. This bridge will either be replaced or repaired, and either way, you'll still be able to get through. Construction will extend nearly 2 miles beyond the river in both directions, and neither option would likely start construction before 2024. So if this bridge is part of your drive, you've got time to get your word in. There are some more public meetings where the DOT will go over this. You can also submit your comments online. That's at the department's website at wisconsindot.com, and we'll also link you there on ours.
Important stretch of road there. Amy Reed reporting. Amy, thank you very much. Meanwhile, the Wisconsin River is rising, prompting flooding concerns north of Madison. As of this morning, the river was at 17 feet. It is predicted to reach 20 feet by Saturday. That is considered major flood stage. Adams and Columbia County officials have already shut down some minor roads. Sandbags are available at multiple locations. We have more details on where you can get yours at our website, channel3000.com. Now, one piece of good news for those areas is that we aren't expecting much, if any, rain in the coming days. Meteorologist Gary Canalti, our first alert forecast. Gary?
Eric, at least for the next couple of days, we should stay dry. Now, today we had plenty of clouds, but there was very little in the way of precipitation across Wisconsin. Most of that was across Michigan and Indiana. But high temperatures were early this morning. Here in Madison, we were at 59 degrees as a cold front came through, and then we dropped into the lower to middle 40s for much of the day. We've been between about 43 and 44 since about mid-afternoon. We're still at 43 in Madison. Cloud cover will actually keep our temperatures up a bit for tonight. In fact, wind speeds right now, while they're starting to come down, we start seeing those clouds break apart, especially west of Madison late tonight. Temperatures will drop off by a few degrees. So by tomorrow morning, I'm looking for low temperatures to be in the upper 30s, but we'll see mostly sunny skies for tomorrow. Even though it'll be windy and those winds will be out of the north, just having the sunshine back will bring our high temperature up to 57 degrees. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. President Trump is in Florida now for the holiday weekend after declaring victory following the highly anticipated release of the Mueller report. Attorney General William Barr held a morning press conference before the report's release. He says he and the Deputy Attorney General concluded there was no criminal wrongdoing by the president or the campaign. The 448-page report states the president's efforts to influence the investigation were mostly unsuccessful, but that is largely, they say, because the persons who surrounded the president declined to carry out his orders. A state Democratic representative is making a fourth go at trying to get marijuana fully legalized in Wisconsin. Representative Alyssa Sargent says She says public support is at an all-time high. The plan faces opposition from Republican leaders who do not support recreational use, but Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has said he would be open to a limited form of medical marijuana. Democratic Governor Tony Evers included legalization of medical marijuana in his state budget proposal. State troopers arrested a wanted fugitive today after a high-speed chase that reached nearly 120 miles per hour. John Stroman was wanted out of Maryland. When local authorities were contacted by the U.S. Marshals, troopers located that vehicle on the interstate headed towards Madison. A chase ensued. After multiple attempts, officers used spikes to stop his vehicle just south of River Road in Windsor. Students at Beloit Memorial High School say the boy accused of sexual assault on a school-sponsored field trip is back in school. In a written statement to News 3 Now, district officials say they are not able to disclose any information about it because the student accused is a minor. The student in question was accused of sexually assaulting 3 girls over multiple days on a band trip to Florida. Students at the high school say they want the boy held responsible.
I want him to be punished. I want him to be expelled because he shouldn't be at our school when he just sexually assaulted 3 girls on a trip that their parents sent them on that they thought they would be safe.
Beloit police say they were not notified of this incident until today, but say they are willing to work with the Orange County, Florida Sheriff's Office if necessary. Wisconsin's unemployment rate remains at 2.9% for the second month in a row. That is near the record low of 2.8% reached in April of last year. Prior to last year, the state's unemployment rate never dropped below 3%. And some of the jobs that were lost are the result of the recent Shopko closures. In Green Bay today, Northwest Technical College put on a special resource and job fair. Shopko employees were given the chance to talk with experts about what their next move will be after the company wraps up operations later this year. The city of Sun Prairie is continuing to process to rebuild after last year's deadly explosion. And tonight, the city's newly created steering committee met for the first time to go over redevelopment plans for the downtown area. And during that meeting, members discussed the multi-phase project with planners, which will also include a new brand for the city, something the mayor hopes the community can help with over the next couple months.
I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the process. We looked at planners very thoroughly, so we're pleased with these planners. And I like the start of this meeting. I like the energy that was in the room.
Mayor Esser says when all is said and done, he hopes the redevelopment project will be complete in the next 6 months. Also in Sun Prairie today, ground is broken for the newest Boys and Girls Club. The nonprofit is turning a former church on Windsor Street into a daycare and youth center. The club purchased the 26,000 square foot facility for $1.2 million. Michael Johnson, CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, says the facility will be up and running by next January. A Madison Girl Scout troop sending a little love to U.S. Marines stationed in Afghanistan. Troop 7899 shipping away about 200 boxes of cookies tonight. They stuffed the boxes with help from the Marine Corps League 4 Lakes Detachment. Organizers say that simple gesture goes a long way for our men and women in uniform.
Magazines, whatever. It was just nice to get something from home. And what's more American and home than Girl Scout cookies?
And the Marine Corps even paid for most of those cookies. It wasn't the best day to put the chairs out on the Union Terrace, but hundreds of people still showed up to take part in the annual tradition this afternoon. Bucky, along with members of the UW Band and others, were all out there today helping volunteers take the famed Sunburst chairs out of storage, and they will be out there for the rest of the summer, usually put away sometime in the fall. Still ahead tonight at 10, there is a serious problem facing our schools. Districts all across the state are finding it more difficult to hire new teachers and also to keep them around. What's causing the shortage when we come back? Teaching has been called one of the most important jobs of our time, but school districts are finding it more and more difficult to not only hire qualified teachers, but to get them to stay. Jamie Perez shows us how a task force at UW-Madison is trying to find solutions and what some of our own teachers are suggesting we do to fix it.
Pick a two-digit number.
For the past 21 years, adding numbers has been Jennifer Murphy's specialty.
Find the sum of 78 and 87.
In this small class she teaches at UW-Madison, she can do what she loves every day.
It's just like a step-by-step thing for students.
But this small class represents a bigger equation that she and many other teachers in our country are working to solve.
I can vividly remember having to really sift through applicant upon applicant for jobs, and now we have jobs that go unfilled.
Something that contributes to the reason why Jennifer's class is so small. These are her only students looking to become teachers.
There are so many things being pulled on teachers, so many extra demands that are even beyond the scope of our administrators in our buildings. The teachers are really struggling with how to put up boundaries, what to say no to, what they can and can't say no to, and just how to navigate all of that while keeping their own mental health and well-being at the same time.
The University of Wisconsin system put together a task force team to find possible solutions.
Over the last 10 years, the UW systems and colleges of education have seen a dramatic decrease of student enrollment in teacher education programs.
Deb Kerr helps lead the task force efforts alongside Diana Hess, who's the Dean of Education here at UW-Madison. Together, they are leading the effort to combat the teacher shortage here in Wisconsin. And what they found is felt by teachers everywhere.
And teachers are concerned about coming out of college, having student loan debt in many cases, and then having relatively low salaries.
But salary and student loans are just part of the problem. Jennifer said she's spoken to a number of teachers who have said the other issues include poor work conditions, unsupportive administrators, short staffing related stress, and a lack of qualified applicants.
It is really hard, or even more overworked and overburdened and overstressed. So less positivity happens as a result.
Jennifer says while she wants to see more teachers being hired, she wants to make sure they are right for the job.
I don't want to feel like we're convincing people they should go into teaching. It's not a profession that I want to feel like we're dragging someone into. But if people are feeling a calling to teach, what is it that's holding them back?
Diana Hess said it could be how the public views teaching as a profession.
Feeling that they don't always have the support they need from parents and the public.
A problem Jennifer says could make teachers feel like they're in a profession that has little value to the rest of the world.
I think it's because they care so much. They care so much about the work. Sorry. Yeah, it's the opposite. And they feel like they can't do enough.
Despite all these issues, there are still people who want to go into this field. One of Jennifer's own students, Andrew Close, is one of them.
So even though it is exhausting so many days of the week, there's nothing that can beat a moment when you just see a light bulb go off in a student's head.
Andrew is entering a field he knows is suffering, but says it's the teachers who have impacted his life in such a meaningful way that have inspired him to do this.
Teachers in my life that just took time to care about me, offer additional support outside of class time, and just be great role models in my life.
The people make it worth it for Andrew and Jennifer and many others. Although salary is part of the solution, Jennifer says that may not solve the bigger problems that teachers face.
I worry sometimes when public perception is that teacher salary is going to fix everything, because it really isn't. There's a lot of other variables at play here that make teaching and working in schools challenging right now, that just teacher salary alone is not a sufficient fix.
So what is a sufficient fix? Well, that's something the task force is still trying to answer. But for now, the numbers don't lie. And until something can add up, they'll continue to look for a solution.
Okay, so so it doesn't work for the second iteration, so do it again.
In Madison, Jamie Perez, News 3 Now.
So 726 plus 600.
The task force that is doing this study says if you would like to give feedback into possible solutions to the teacher shortage, they are welcoming public comment on their website until mid-May. A link to that will be on our website, and their goal is to have a full report out by June. We do have some breaking news from our Channel 3000 Alert Center. Crews are battling a fire right now in the town of Pleasant Springs near Stoughton. This is in the 1900 block of County Road AB. The call came in first about 9:15. Crews say it is active. It was reported as a barn fire. Several departments being sent out to battle this fire. We don't know what the cause was or if anyone was injured. We invite you to stay with News 3 and channel3000.com, where we will provide any updates we receive. Gary was also closely monitoring the weather over the last couple days. You know, we're heading into that time of the year where we start to see severe weather and a lot of precipitation, and hopefully by the weekend we'll get to see some warmer weather.
At least we didn't have snow today.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it felt like it could have at
yeah,
times.
and it was chilly. Well, compared to yesterday, I mean, you know, everything is kind of relative. But tomorrow, just getting the sun back will get temperatures up into the upper 50s. As we take a look at precipitation over the last 48 hours, we talked earlier in the newscast about the potential for some river flooding along the Wisconsin River, also the Mississippi River and St. Croix rivers being watched for potential flood problems. Yesterday, most of the accumulating rain was in the northern portion of the state, about an inch or more there, and then a couple of bands of 2+ inches of rain. But here in southern Wisconsin, where the heavier showers and thunderstorms came through, they moved fast enough to limit the rainfall amounts to generally less than a ½ inch, and some areas didn't pick up any rain at all. But if we take a look at the precipitation forecast, this is from the USGFS computer model. This begins at 6 p.m. Easter Sunday, and notice nothing before then. That would be good news. It's possible there could be an isolated shower or thunderstorm Easter Sunday afternoon, but the better chances will arrive Sunday night into Monday, and the U.S. computer model showing somewhere between a 1/4 and a ½ inch of rain over southern Wisconsin. The European computer model, just a little bit less on the amounts. It shows the heavier amounts farther to the north, but around 1/3 of an inch through southern Wisconsin. As we look at the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, just cloudy here tonight. As we check out the almanac, the high of 59 was early this morning, low temperature 42, and as we check out the current conditions, that is our current temperature. So we've been about 43, 44 much of the afternoon and evening. We've now dropped to 42. Skies are cloudy, winds out of the north at 12 miles per hour. As we check out the weather track across the country, notice this large area of clearing in the western portion of the nation. The good news is that will be in here for much of the weekend. So once we get rid of these clouds, temperatures will start to warm back up, and then eventually the upper level winds will flatten out a little bit, starting to drive mild Pacific air eastward, and temperatures should be in the 60s and 70s over the weekend. In the short term, the winds are out of the north and northwest, and the cloud cover keeping temperatures cool. These are high temperatures today, but again, most of this was early in the morning, and then those temperatures really fell off. Take a look at Charleston, West Virginia. They had a high of 90 degrees today. Out to the west, temperatures mainly in the 50s where there was some sunshine, 40s where the sun didn't come out, and current temperatures are in the 40s to upper 30s through much of the Midwest. The cool air really has spread to the east. Even Charleston, while they're at 77, they're watching that cold front just out to the west of them. So as we look at future track, the clouds will linger for much of the night tonight, but then tomorrow we're back into sunshine. That gets temperatures into the upper 50s. Tomorrow night with clear skies and lighter winds, temperatures will drop into the middle 30s, and then on Saturday, plenty of sunshine. High temperatures will top out somewhere around 65. Our forecast overnight, look for a low temperature of 37 degrees by morning. It'll be breezy and cooler compared to last night, but tomorrow will turn sunny and windy. High temperature at 57, so not as cool as today. As we check out future track, again, those clouds linger for much of the night, starting to break up toward morning. Low temperatures upper 30s. Tomorrow we're back to mostly sunny skies. High temperatures mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow night, clear skies, low temperatures mid 30s, and then we're back up into high temperatures in the mid 60s on Saturday. Notice those winds out to the west becoming a little more westerly. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, Easter Sunday, a high of 72, slight chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Cooler on Monday with a high of 61 and some scattered showers there. And then just some slight chances for showers Tuesday and Wednesday. And then again from Friday night into Saturday of next weekend, high temperatures generally in the middle 60s.
And a lot of people have tomorrow off. A lot of schools are out as well. Hopefully a nice holiday weekend and that warm up will really make a difference.
Good timing for it.
Should feel good. Gary, thanks. Brewers and Dodgers meet again at Miller Park. This time a little less on the line than last fall. We'll have the highlights from Miller Park coming up in sports.
It's a rematch of last year's National League Championship Series at Miller Park this weekend. The Brewers and Dodgers battled to a Game 7 last October, with the Dodgers advancing to the World Series. A lot less on the line this weekend, but who knows what this October might bring for these two teams. Tonight, scoreless into the 6th when Matt Albers pitches for the Brewers. And it's not scoreless anymore. Cody Bellinger passes Christian Yelich for the National League lead with his 10th homer of the season. Max Muncy adds a 2-run shot off Albers. It's 3-0 LA. In the 9th, guess who hit a homer for the Brewers? Yep, Yelich gets his 10th of the season to again tie Bellinger for the National League lead. But that's all the Brewers can brag about tonight. Final score is Dodgers 3, Brewers 1. Brewers got into 5 hits tonight. Game 2 of the series is tomorrow night. First pitch just after 7 in Miller Park. Cubs are off tonight. They're at Wrigley tomorrow against Arizona. The Bucks and Pistons get a couple of days off before they play Game 3 of their NBA playoff series in Detroit Saturday at 7. The Bucks are up 2 games to none, winning by margins of 35 and 21 points. Seems like the Pistons won't be putting up much of a fight with Blake Griffin still out with a knee injury, but Giannis Antetokounmpo says the Bucks can still improve their performance in a lot of ways.
I think defensively we got to be able to communicate better, make shots. And just being when we run plays, this stretch in the game that we run the same play for like 5-6 times in a row. I think we got to do a better job just having varieties of plays offensively and keep our opponents guessing.
Badger football had another spring practice today. They still have 4 more left through next week. Last season, the defense had 19 sacks and 14 interceptions. In 2017, the defense had 42 sacks and 20 interceptions. So defensive coordinator Jim Leonard knows he has his work cut out for him. But he told us that spring practice is a time to challenge the players to see what they're capable of. So far, he says he's been encouraged by the progression of the safeties, but thinks the cornerbacks need a little more work. He knows that some of these guys might not be ready to play every single snap in every single game, but each player will find their role.
Come fall, we want to get the best 11 out there every play, and if that's 20 snaps for you, if that's what you can be your best, then that's your role. But which it was in a lot of cases last year. But with injuries, they had to play more, and just trying to find out who can handle what at this point. And come fall, I expect some big competitions.
And the WIA has announced the winners of their Scholar Athlete Awards for 2019. They're recognized for their athletic and academic achievement. Local winners include Middleton's Kevin Miker, Middleton's Chloe Boucher, Waunakee's Regan Hoops, and Lodi's Owen Jelinek. Also winning Scholar Athlete Awards, River Valley's Shane Legal, McFarland's Andrew Pankey, Lydia Murphy of Lancaster, and Jared Payne of Seneca High School. They'll get their awards at a ceremony in Warsaw May 5th. Congratulations. And we'll be right back.
Well, we do have an update now to our breaking news. Fire crews remain on the scene of a reported barn fire in the town of Pleasant Springs near Stoughton. It's in the 1900 block of County Road B. As you can see, there is still a lot of smoke in that area. Right now, we don't know the cause or if anyone was injured. We will have the latest on News 3 Now this morning, starting at 4:30, and as always, at channel3000.com. A final check of your forecast now. Here's Gary.
On the cool side out there, skies are mostly cloudy. Right now, 42 in Madison. Temperatures upper 30s to lower 40s. By tomorrow afternoon, we're back up to 57 thanks to sunny skies. It'll be kind of windy. Then mid-60s Saturday and low 70s on Easter Sunday. Shower or thunderstorm chance, just a slight one on Easter Sunday, and then 60s for the rest of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you, and thanks for joining us tonight for News 3 Now at 10. Have a great night.